Ready?
We're getting the television.
It's almost ready.
It's a little delayed.
Okay. Looks like it's on.
We're ready.
Good to go?
Yes, good go.
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the Code Enforcement Board regular meeting on Wednesday, November 16th at 1 p.m. Please silence your cell phones. Ms. Delhart or Linelda, please call the roll.
Member Axelrod, member La Sorsa, member Trevini,
Here.
member Murray is absent. Member Pearlman
Present.
and Vice Chairperson Perlow
Here.
and Chairperson Slam is absent and Town Attorney Rubin.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, let's please say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Good. Okay. Now I'm going to swear in the public. For those giving testimony related to the case that you're affiliated with, please stand and raise your right hand to be sworn.
By the authority vested in me as a notary of the state of Florida, do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Now I'm opening it, the meeting for public comments, which are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Do we have anyone? Jack,
We have to swear her in. He doesn't have to be sworn in if he's gonna.
Not for public.
he's already been sworn in. Yeah. Okay. There's 3 here. Yeah.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jack Coughlin. I live at 45 Ocean Condominium. And I'm here representing myself.
Turn on the mic, please.
My wife as owners at 45 Ocean. I am not authorized to represent the board of the condominium. Our lawyer is here today to represent the condominium. During the 6 years when I was on code enforcement, 3 of which I was fortunate. Three of which I was fortunate to be chairman. I never ran across a case such as you will be hearing today against 45 Ocean Condominium. That is, an owner took it upon themselves because they had a Tesla and they needed a charging station to install a charging unit. They felt because of the state regulations, they were entitled to do such. They did not notify the condominium. The work was done on a Saturday and perhaps done by an electrical employee of the apartment owner's firm. No permit was ever applied for, nor any authorization from the condominium was applied for as well. However, since it's on common ground, even though it is at his parking spot, the condominium is considered at fault. We are going through the lawsuits with the owner relating to the Florida regulations for electrical vehicle charging. We would like to remove the charging station, but cannot do so as we will face further legal liability if we do such. However, if instructed by this board to remove such charging station, I feel personally believe that would circumvent the Florida regulation and he only could go forward. That would circumvent the Florida regulations and he only could go forward to officially have he would have to go forward to officially have plans drawn up, submitted to the condo and to the town for a proper permit. If instructed by the board to remove the existing charging station, I will feel we would be doing such in an expeditious manner. Furthermore, informing the owner that a permit process must be followed by Highland Beach regulations. Again, I do not represent the condominium, but just express the thoughts of my wife and myself regarding this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, anyone else with any comments? All right, I would like to move for approval of the minutes from October 11th. Are there any corrections? If there aren't, hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of October 11th? And if there's a second, we shall go further.
Motion.
Move second.
Second, okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Okay, unfinished business. Okay, it's called case number CC 2022-0506. Jill Giles, and this is in regard to a violation on earth removal east of CCCL without a permit. Jason.
Jason was the previous officer.
Oh, I'm sorry, Adam. Yeah, those two names are very familiar.
Jason did start the case, so
Okay.
this is case number CC 2022-05-006. My name is Adam Osowski, Town of Highland Beach Code Compliance Officer, and I have been previously sworn in. This case was originally heard at the code compliance hearing on August 9th, 2022, and postponed by the board. The respondent is Jill Giles. The property address is 4023 South Ocean Boulevard. CCO Manco originally inspected the property on May 13th, 2022. The violation as cited on today's agenda is 30-122A, earth removal east of coastal construction control line without a permit. The notice of violation was served by posting and mail was sent on May 13th, 2022. The respondent was given 14 days to come into compliance. The notice of hearing was served by posting and certified mail sent on October 26, 2022. Prior to today's hearing, I re-inspected the building records on October 28th, 2022, and the violation has been corrected. I have submitted the following evidence, which includes proof of service, supporting documents, and photographs. The town recommends that the respondent be found in violation of town code as alleged in the notice of violation. The town is also asking to waive the prosecution costs in this case.
Okay. All right, so it says here, does anyone have any ex parte communication? And is there anyone here that needs to speak in regard to this case? It sounds like it's been corrected, right? So I think I would like to more or less say violation was corrected prior to the hearing. I move that the respondents be found in violation of the town code as alleged in the notice of, but they are now in compliance, and that they do not repeat order be issued. And at this point, we are not asking for any prosecution fees.
You're the chair, aren't
Yeah, you can't make.
Today,
Yeah, you
today.
Can't make a motion. like
Yeah, someone else should make.
Oh, somebody else has to make the motion. Sorry.
I have a question. Why is the town asking the prosecution fees?
No. No prosecution, he said.
Well, he's asking why.
That's what I thought I heard.
Excuse them, yeah, to excuse, waive fee.
Yeah, we're waiving the fees just because this is a matter that the first permit had to go through DEP.
Okay.
Yeah, so they did it. The state was the holdup, and that's why this was postponed, and since they did everything properly. Yeah, and I've been in communication with the contractor as well.
Okay, so the hearing is now closed, so someone must make a motion. It's number 2, I think, on our
Yes,
motion.
ma'am.
I move that the respondents be found in violation of the town code as alleged in the notice of violation, but is now in compliance, and that a do not repeat order be issued. Second.
Good. So now we can please call the roll. Again. Says so here.
Member La Sorsa,
Yes.
member Turbini,
Yes.
Member Axelrod,
Yes.
Member Perliman,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Perlow.
Yes,
Thank you. Motion carries.
motion carried. So we're now on to the next case. All right, oh, this is 4500s. Case number CC 20221-08008. Adam, please.
This is case number CC 2021-08-008. My name is Adam Osowski and I've been previously sworn in. The respondent is 45 Ocean Condo Association. The property address is 4505 South Ocean Boulevard. CCO Manco originally inspected the property on August 16th, 2021. The violations that remain as cited on today's agenda are 30-122A, Tesla charger installed without permit. The notice of violation was served by posting and mail sent on August 26, 2021. The respondent was given 15 days to come into compliance. The notice of hearing was served by hand delivery and certified mail sent on October 26, 2022. Prior to today's hearing, I re-inspected the building records on November 7th, 2022, and the violations continue to exist. I have submitted the following evidence, which includes proof of service, supporting documents, and photographs. The town recommends that the respondent be found in violation of the town code as alleged in the notice of violation and be fined $250 per day for each day the violation remains retroactively to August 15th, 2022. The town is asking to assess prosecution costs in the amount of $250 payable by the date set by the board. And I also have the building official here that is a witness.
Jeffrey, Miss Building Official, Town of Highland Beach. I just want to bring some clarity to this so that we have a better understanding. One of the condo owners at 45 Ocean hired a contractor and had a Tesla charger installed, not to completion, but almost to completion. They were caught after the fact, but because all of the work was performed on common property and not within his condo, within his parcel, the notice of violation was sent to the condo association. Since this has happened, I have explained multiple times to the contractor, to the condo owner and to the association that the association has to apply for the permit so that we can, I just want this done and just get this inspected and everybody goes home happy. Unfortunately, for well over a year, there's been some litigation, and as a result, neither side seems to be capable of doing anything. Okay, and we're stuck where we're at. So I even asked multiple, I'm like, just rip it out, just tear out the unit, and then it all goes away, and then we could be finished with this. But apparently there's some legalities with them remove. I don't know why, because it's stuff that was done illegally on their property, why they can't just have it ripped out and start from scratch. I don't understand that part, and I'm sure that their attorney will explain. So I'm just giving some context to this and a little bit of the history. There's unfortunately litigation between both parties over something so simplistic. Unfortunately, it was performed and admitted to be performed by the condo owner without a permit. And when I spoke with him about it, he said he spoke with one of the board members and was given approval. We don't get involved with that kind of situation. That's a civil matter. The bottom line is we just are looking to can we just force the condo association to just remove it and pull it out, whatever could be done legally. And I guess the association attorney, but I just want to give some background and some context. We just want this over with. It's been taking over a year, and if both sides need to come to some sort of an agreement, but maybe we can help that.
Maybe we can push it. Yeah, it's a pity though that the unit owner is not here. Obviously, it's not his problem.
Well, not exactly.
Peter Mullengarden, attorney for the association from K. Bender Rembam. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, Mr. Halpern mentioned this. It was just mentioned by the town building official. Yeah, this situation unfortunately has reached a point that the association, quite frankly, never thought it would. The owner basically threatened litigation. We've gone to pre-suit mediation. We had a mediation. There is a proposed agreement between the association and the owner, who is Mr. Shoshan. It's Unit 307, with respect to the charging station. I mean, under the Florida law, owners are entitled to put charging stations into their limited common elements, but they do have to follow certain procedures. I don't want to get into too much detail because there's this threatened litigation, which is hanging over the association's head. The association earnestly wants to work this out and obviously doesn't want to get fined for something that, quote, they didn't do, unquote. But there is a dispute between the owner and the association regarding, did you apply? Did you not apply? Anyway, and I can't go into too much detail because of this threatened litigation. I was going to ask your indulgence for more time. I realize it's been a lot of time. And we had this pending agreement out there to try to resolve this, to get the darn thing in, okay, and move on. Because under Florida law, they're allowed to have them. They just have to go through certain procedures. The association doesn't believe it is, quote, at fault, unquote, for this situation. It's an odd situation because it is limited common element, okay, but the owners are the one who install these things, okay? So it's kind of a hybrid between, the association doesn't put it in. They just basically approve when it's, that it's going to be put in. So I know I'm talking a little bit in circles here. I don't mean to. We earnestly, seriously want to get this resolved. We're trying to get it resolved. The agreement is currently over in the hands of the owner's attorney, waiting for a response. We've been negotiating agreement to just put it in and move on, with the proper permits and everything else. I'm going to throw myself on the mercy of the code enforcement board here. But I think to fine the association under these circumstances would be, extremely unfortunate, and not just, but that, anyway, I don't want to take up all your time this afternoon. Again, we're trying to work it out. We really are, at least from our side anyway.
Yeah, well, your side is really the victim, okay, because
That's how we feel.
this would never happen in our because you can't do these things unless you get it, through the boards.
However, I'm going to make a suggestion based upon a situation where there is a litigation going on
Yes,
at my condo, and that is something came before the code enforcement officer came out, and it was a situation where eventually the whole thing was put to rest before the town until such time as the litigation would be resolved. And I recommend we do the same thing in this situation.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it a life safety hazard that the unfinished work is sitting there?
I don't think it's hooked up, but
Because the electric is not hooked up, we are not deeming this a life safety issue at this time.
So if we vote to give them the time to finish their litigation, is that going to settle it? Because actually, okay.
or
No,
can we,
because it's not currently deemed to be a life safety issue at this time. That's why whatever time they need, we've had over a year to
Yeah.
get this straightened out, and I don't know what the problem has been on both sides.
So if we today say, okay, wait.
Excuse me, Member LaSorsa, could you please speak into the microphone so the
Oh,
public can hear you? Thank
I
you.
thought that loud. If we say they have, is it working?
Is it on? I don't believe it's.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. If we give them the extension, will you be back saying you need the 250 fee and et cetera?
We are going to have to come back until it's resolved. So you're going to have to make a decision on how you want to work towards the resolution here. We just asked for what the code, what the ordinance requires,
right,
all right, so that we ask for what the ordinance says.
could we?
And then it's up to you to determine, but it's currently not deemed a life safety issue, in my opinion, as a building official and a qualified electrical inspector. I don't see that as an issue at this time, unless someone connects it, at midnight and we don't know
That
about
could
it.
happen.
So whatever decision you make to buy time, we're okay with, but we're going to end up back here again unless this is resolved.
Jeff, are you aware of the one that I'm talking about? I don't know if you are or not, at Toscana.
I don't really want to discuss any
I
other,
understand that. but I'm
anything
just
else
saying-
other than this case.
Yeah, because that situation, as I said, was totally put on hold until such time.
That is correct. That one's on ice.
Right.
With
So
the-
could we do that? And could we do
Correct.
that?
Yeah, I would, I'm going to go back to council on that one.
But Jeff,
And I want, and I'll make one clarification for the record, because I don't want any misunderstanding. You know, suit has not been filed yet,
but
okay,
it's
but it's,
cooking.
the first step has been taken before suit can be filed.
Have
Okay.
they applied for a condo approval? That's public record, isn't it?
It's part of the dispute, whether it's been applied for
Say
properly.
that again?
Part of the dispute is whether it's been applied for properly. That's part of the dispute.
I
That's
have a
part,
question.
but in the agreement, that gets worked out. In the agreement that we've come up with.
Could we just say that we want that, it, as Jeff mentioned, we want it removed until the paperwork and everything is done properly, and so that 4,500, doesn't have to bear the cost. The unit owner really did something illegal.
I have a question.
How long has this been in the hands of the condo owner's attorney?
We first became aware of it. I first became aware of it in, I believe it was August.
So we're now 3 months later and you don't have a response from the defense or from the condo owners?
He was talking about the proposed agreement. How long is?
Oh, the proposed agreement? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the whole issue.
No.
The mediation was in September. And we've been going back and forth for like about a month on it.
I have a question.
I'm not going to say it's,
With this.
look,
Can
I don't
get
want to
into
point
this?
fingers. Okay. The other side has been a little reticent in getting back to us. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. I don't want to, disparage anyone. They're not here to defend themselves.
Our attorney.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Can we be sued if we tell them to rip out?
No,
stuff?
but the issue is they can't rip it out. They can't rip it out
I
They
didn't
can't
think so.
rip it out. It's a
because
state
they
law.
have this pending litigation with
Yeah, we're
the
afraid if we rip it out,
unit owner.
they're going to sue us for
That's what
damages.
That's what he's telling you, that they can't just, that's an easy fix, but they can't rip it out. This thing needs to be resolved one way or the other.
right. I mean, I would love to do a self-help, tear it out, but I'm just concerned that it'll exacerbate the situation and not resolve it. All right.
That's why you can't just do.
it's,
So you could either postpone it, give them more time to, maybe to the next meeting, or you could find them in violation, but give them time to comply, whatever the board's.
well,
wishes
whoever
to
wants to
do.
make a motion.
Hold on, member Turbini would like to speak.
Oh,
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, because I have studied this law and I was part of an EV task force for Toscana. But the law states that he must apply for a permit prior to doing anything. That's what the law states. You got to apply for a permit from the town before you start anything.
Right.
And if he hasn't applied for a permit, it's illegally installed, and I believe it can be taken out. Without we can't make that decision, but the condo can make that decision and take it out, or the building department can make that decision and have them take it out. But we cannot make that decision because we would have to go against state law.
right.
I think the best way, I think the best way, instead of tearing it out, putting it back, tearing it out, putting it back, I mean, I think it's going to create more problems than resolution. And I'm sorry it's dragged on. I am. I mean, literally, the association is pulling its hair out over this thing. So, and I know it's been delayed. I think sincerely, with a little more time, it can be resolved, and it should,
Okay.
and it will be resolved.
Can you give us an idea of time? Who wants to put in the motion?
Month, 2 months.
I would, 6 years, no. I would, I would like to say 30 days. I mean, which seems, but between getting permits and how long does it take once they get the, they're back together with the permit application? 3 days.
When's your next meeting with them?
He doesn't.
There is no meeting
He's
set.
waiting for
Right now, we're waiting for them to get back to us on the agreement. as much time as we reasonably, I don't know, 30, 60 days. I mean,
Well, you
obviously
got-
60 is better than 30, but you know,
Thanksgiving and
Yeah.
Christmas. and-
but that's up to you. So I would say 60,
60 days.
60.
5 days.
45.
Difficult.
No, not difficult. Make it smart. Do
Yeah,
it
but that
once.
takes us back to
The building department wants it resolved and there's been a violation. They have to do their permit. They'll probably get 2.5 times the permit fee. They're gonna get punished at some point. So
Right.
I
No,
have a
it's-
motion.
Is he living in the condo or is he gone? The unit
I
owner?
believe he's living there. Is Mr. He's not? Okay, okay.
Okay, this is a one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we can't take testimony from the audience.
Sorry,
so,
okay.
Mr. Halpern, if you're going to speak, you need to get to the mic. And you need to be sworn.
I apologize. I didn't know for a fact whether he was there or not.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move that the response be found in violation of town code as alleged in the notice violation. And that he, she, they be ordered to comply within 45 days or be fined $250 a day for the violation remains if date set for compliance and assess prosecution costs in the amount of, is it $250? $250 payable by the date set for compliance.
So it's can I ask a question? Or, okay, and when, so if there is compliance, does that fine
There'd
not?
be no fine if there's compliance, but you'd still be responsible for the $250 in prosecution.
Okay, fine. So, okay, and one more question. And this is maybe something that you can't answer. If for some reason these negotiations crash and burn, which I hope they do not, but if they did, could the association, you might be able to answer this, could we take it out without getting hit with this fine? Or you can't answer that?
We can't answer.
Okay, fine.
That's
That would be
clearly
up-
beyond this board's purview.
Okay, that would be our risk. Okay,
You need to tell them that they're at risk.
they know. That's why I'm here.
The unit
I
owner.
made my motion. Anyone?
There's a motion.
like it?
It's the building that's being.
Okay, we have-
not
We
the
need
I
to-
know, that's the bad thing.
building owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
They have to do-
Aye.
Well,
Uh,
you want to.
A roll call first. Yes, sorry.
Member La Sorsa,
Aye.
member Perlman,
Oh, yeah, aye.
member Tribini,
Aye.
member Axelrod,
No,
vice chairperson Perlow.
Oy. I'll say aye.
Okay, so that was 45 additional
Motion
days,
carries.
45
Thank you.
days.
45 days, and then the hammer drops, right? Okay.
that's still being fine.
I thank you for your indulgence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have some new business. Okay, case number
What's that?
we are up to that one. Case number CC 2022-06-006. Adam.
All right, this is case number CC 2022-06-006. My name is Adam Osowski and I have been previously sworn in. The respondent is Bramer Isle Condo. The property address is 4740 South Ocean Boulevard. CCO Manco inspected the property on June 20th, 2022. The violations that remain as cited on today's agenda are 6-29, the International Property Maintenance Code 2012 edition. There is damaged drywall and elevated levels of moisture in unit 116. The notice of violation was served by posting and mail sent on June 20th, 2022. The respondent was given 28 days to come into compliance. The notice of hearing was served by posting and certified mail sent on October 26, 2022. Prior to today's hearing, I re-inspected the property and building records on November 4th, 2022, and the violations continue to exist.
Mm.
I have submitted the following evidence, which includes proof of service, supporting documents and photographs. I've been made aware that the property manager has an engineer's report, but refuses to share that report with the town. The town is recommending that the respondent be found in violation of town code as alleged in the notice of violation and be fined $250 per day for each day the violation remains after the date set for compliance. The town is asking to assess prosecution costs in the amount of $250 payable by the date set for compliance. The resident of unit 116 is here and would also like to speak.
And they've been sworn in, so,
Yes, they've been sworn in.
okay.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Brahmi. I live at 4740 South Ocean Boulevard, apartment 116. The building first became aware of this leak back in June of 2021, and the town got involved a year later, and there's still damage in the apartment. This is on the ceiling. I live on the ground floor. I have tried everything I possibly can. I cannot hire a leak detection company because I have no authority to give them access up the stack. Only the building can come in and hire a leak detection company and determine what the source of the leak is. And that is what I have been asking the building to do on my behalf, is to please determine what is the source of the leak, where is it coming from, and to please repair the leak and then also repair the damage in my apartment. I also suggested that if it was found that the damage came from, let's say, another homeowner above me, then they will be then responsible. But yet I have yet to hear anything back from the building. They have failed to provide me with an engineering report. I have pictures to show you. I don't know if Adam has already provided you with pictures or Jason before him. Because Jason first came out in June, which is when he prepared the case, then he left, and now Adam has taken over. So do you all have current pictures of the damage to my ceiling, or I brought a few?
They must be in this file.
Showing some near
Yeah, there's just one photo in the packet.
the door. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's the only one.
The damage is contained to the inside of the pocket shade in the dining room, which is underneath a balcony that's right above it. Whether the leak is coming from a balcony or from a roof that's leaking all the way down. Again, I have no way of determining the source of the leak because there's been no, as far as I haven't seen any report that's any work has been done to determine the source of the leak.
And it's only your unit, not anything above?
I do know for a fact when Jason came out back in previously in June, he was able to access through the building some of the other residents' apartments. He saw damage on some of the walls as well, whether it's the same leak or a different leak. He could not make that determination again because he didn't have any information. There was no report of a leak. So that's all I'm asking the building to do. Look, I have a leak. I'd like to get it fixed, but if I fix it before I know the source, then there's no point in getting it fixed.
Correct.
And living on the ground floor, it's frustrating. Everything comes down.
So I heard him say that somebody has an engineering report they won't share.
I have yet to see an engineering report as
Who
well.
has that?
The building has that.
And oh, he has it. Oh,
The-
so let's
the
wait
buil-
to hear what he's got to
Yeah, the
say.
building has it and the property manager's here after, whenever you're ready.
All right.
Did you want me to, I have a couple
around.
pictures. Oh, of course I'm hanging around. Do you want me to provide you the pictures? Or did you have
It's a
sufficient?
leak.
It's a leak.
Okay, all right, just so they see the damage in the apartment. Okay, great, thank you.
So he's good. Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Lopez. I'm the property manager of Braemar Isle Condominium. Mrs. Bramy in unit 116 actually had her unit completely remodeled, and it's absolutely lovely. And afterwards, she had delamination from the ceiling. The ceiling over there where the delamination from is plaster delamination. It's not drywall to begin with. That's concrete ceilings. Okay, so I'm not sure if the delamination was from construction issues or whatever that may be, but nevertheless, it's been speculated that there was a leak, and I'm not going to say yes or no because I really don't know, because till this point, I've had engineers there twice, and we've done multiple moisture meter reading tests,
which all are conclude that there is no water coming
Do you have
through.
copies for us?
Yeah, well, the problem, my attorney is actually the one who advised me to hold that back because of possible litigation. So that's the reason why. And Mrs. Ramey did not personally ask for a copy of the engineer's report. And probably even if she did, you know, I probably would have had her attorney, you know, that's what they're afraid of, is possible litigation. But nevertheless, I did have an engineer go back there again on a second time and actually do a water test.
So he's been testing for moisture. You're saying it's possibly the delamination from the concrete ceiling.
No, actually, what we have noticed is that the unit above Mrs. Ramey and that area where she has the delamination, there was damage to the wood floor in the unit above her. So we don't know, this is all speculation. Jason was the code enforcer back then, that they may have had a refrigerator or something there at one point and it was leaking. So we're not sure. Every time we took action, every time it rained, we tried to gain access into Mrs. Ramey's unit to do moisture reading tests to see where it comes from, and even the unit above to see if it's coming under their slide is down.
Has there been further damage when it rains?
You need to, right, you need to go back to the mic. If,
Yeah.
well, no, you can step aside.
Just don't hit them.
No, I said, so we're fine. The homeowner above me has moved out. I went upstairs to speak with them. There was no refrigerator there.
Well,
And
they said there might have been. They didn't say there was.
might have been a lot of things, but the bottom line is I have a leak in my apartment. And yes, Anthony is right. I renovated the apartment before I purchased the apartment. I had the apartment inspected. The apartment was completed. I moved in March of 2020. The leak was not determined or detected until a year and a half later. So it had nothing to do with the
Well,
renovation.
Here's the thing, a concrete slab is
Mhm.
porous. You
Mhm.
pour water on it, eventually the water will come through and water travels.
Mhm.
So if you have a driving rain, it could drive all the way to the middle of the room and then start to go down. And I see near a door here, you have some damage. That's the only picture we have.
It's I don't know what picture you have.
Sure. Don't hit me.
Yes, it is the pocket shape.
Okay.
That's on a ceiling
It's
part.
on, it's on.
Yeah.
it's
Oh, this is a ceiling picture?
It's ceiling, not
Ceiling.
floor.
It's a
It's
ceiling.
upside down.
Oh, I see. Now I got
It's
you.
upside down.
That's a blind right there, right?
Ceiling.
Right, I'm looking up now. Okay, all right.
This was taken about 2 weeks ago.
This could be a waterproofing issue on the outside of the building. So
Sure.
that would be maintenance by the building, and their
Right.
engineer should determine that.
Right.
That's why I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, I mean, I agree with that.
Balcony mentioned
Now-
someplace?
Pardon me?
Is there a balcony mentioned someplace above?
There is.
There is a
Which
balcony
makes more
above the
porous.
dining room. Yes.
Have they, now, is there any covering of the concrete slab of the balcony?
There was, man.
Yeah, back to the mic.
Yeah, there was, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna do this round up for line. Here it goes. There was, actually tile on top of the balconies, okay? But what we did is we actually had water tests conducted with the engineer. The engineer had water tests conducted to see if water is actually coming through or moisture is actually coming through. They conducted that test and there was no evidence of
What
any.
test did they conduct? Did they run a hose?
They run water on there for a extended period of time. And what they do is they have what you call a flare machine, and it actually records all of the all of the readings if there's any moisture that
So
comes
now
through.
she's saying when it rains, she's getting water.
Yeah, I have not once gotten a call. If Mrs. Ramey had water coming through her unit when it was raining, I am certain I would have received the call. Okay, but nevertheless,
No,
I had the engineer test it,
Okay.
okay? And, this has been like an ongoing thing for about a year,
yeah.
whatever, but nevertheless, what we did is I asked the engineer, well, just to make sure and exclude any other possibilities, what can we do? So right now we're doing complete concrete restoration in our garage. It's a 40-year-old building, and we're gonna be doing the building following suit.
Well, that's
soon
okay with
after.
her.
So if, yeah, I'm sorry, sir.
I have a question for the homeowner. Is the water literally leaking? Do you see water dripping?
Do I see? Yes, there's water. I have porcelain tile floors, so I don't, so I see all the ceiling materials falling onto the floor and the ceiling is wet. And it happened a few weeks ago, and that's when Adam came out with his moisture reading tests, and there was again moisture. There is.
They look under the tiles in the balcony above. And
I
without,
was trying to get
I'm
to
saying lifting the tiles above, to see if there's water underneath.
Can I?
There's always gonna be water underneath. All that
Yeah.
stuff is porous.
So again, the whole idea is if there's an engineer that's been working on this, and I've gone down to the office multiple times and asked for what's going on. Oh, the engineer is working on it. Well, where's the report? But there is no litigation. There is no suit. So I'm not sure why, and regardless of whether there's a report or not, bottom line is there's a leak in my apartment, and I'd like the building to find the source of the leak and fix the repairs, make the repairs into the drywall repair in my apartment.
No, that'll be on you, but the question is.
Wait, I'm sorry, what's on me?
You're gonna have to have your insurance pay that. That's what happens.
Well, we're responsible, I believe, Anthony, for painting, like
Yeah,
in other,
paint out.
for paint, correct,
But
but
you
not
got
the
a
dry.
concrete ceiling. So what I'm gonna ask this question, what remediation have you done other than tests? Have you done any caulking, flashing?
No, actually, we took extensive action. We removed all of the tile from the balcony above and had it sealed according to engineer specifications to satisfy and to assure us that there will be no further leaking if there is any leak, because it's all speculation again. So we did that. We had it all waterproofed and everything else completely. The tile ripped up, the ground, I think they grinded it down a little bit and all sealed.
When was this done?
I'm sorry?
When was this done?
This was done not too long ago recently. And reason being because it's been very difficult to get contractors to do that, to do certain works. But I don't know if you have that experience also. But I do have also photos of that if you.
When you say recently, within the last 3 months?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Did you request the records regarding the engineer's report from the manager? Did you request the engineer's report that's being withheld? Did you?
Verbally, yes, in writing,
You have to-
no.
Well, because legally, if you put it in writing, stop me if I'm wrong, they have to give it to you, don't they?
Yes.
You don't know. I think that's.
I don't do
part of the
condominium.
condo law.
That's outside my area of expertise.
If someone
They do
pays,
request, they do
Oh,
request.
they request it by written.
In writing, we are,
But in my communication with Anthony and through the emails, I was requesting, what are you doing? What methods are you taking to determine the source? At some point, how many more times do I have to ask?
okay,
You know.
here's another question.
For me or for him?
You can always answer.
Okay.
Since the remediation that he says they did, which is 3 months approximately, have you had a leak?
Yes. Adam, do you remember when you were out with the moisture reader test?
Storm.
I mean, you're saying you did extensive remediation? I mean, is there a sliding glass door above that area also where your sliding glass door is?
Yes.
Did they take the sliding glass door and they re-gasket it? And did they put in flashing? Did they caulk it? Did they
so, yes.
use paint?
So what we did, I mean, the recommendation from the engineer on how to proceed for the contractor.
Well, see,
do it,
I'd
they
like to
follow
see that. And I know it's a secret.
It's a
So-
tough
Yeah,
situation.
the board doesn't get into how they rectify it. It's just whether there's a violation or there's not a violation and
So,
how
I
long.
mean, actually, this, the work was completed.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Who's the violation against?
It's
Bramer.
against the association.
Which
It's
should,
against the association?
yes, it
Yes.
should be.
Well, that's who was cited was the association,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually. it
not
was
the unit owner.
It was completed last month.
I thought it was
in
against you.
October.
No, no,
it's-
no,
It's
no.
against the association.
I
No,
apologize.
Yeah.
as long as she's in the.
It was completed in October, and like and the reason why the board is concerned also is because the unit above that had the damaged
Floor.
wood, had damaged floor, Mrs. Ramey had a lawsuit against them also, based on that water leak as well. So that's why there's concern. Mrs. Ramey won that case. so, the board is
Wait,
concerned,
who,
we're
who sued
concerned.
who? You sued the people upstairs?
Yes,
There was no lawsuit filed. I had an attorney draft a letter to both the board and the homeowner upstairs. There was nothing ever, there was no lawsuit filed against the building or the people upstairs. My attorney worked with the attorney of the homeowner upstairs and resolved that issue. That has nothing to do with the homeowner association.
No.
So this is me coming to the town saying, I feel violated. I feel that the building has caught, there's a leak in the building that needs to be repaired. This is not on me, it's on the building.
Correct.
That's when you were saying, that's why I was upset when you said something, you made, well, the inside damage is on me. It's
No.
I have a
not.
question for Adam.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
What?
I would just want to make one comment because I hear the confusion. I'm here citing the condo association. My witness is for my case. And then Mr. Lopez here is the respondent for the building.
Right.
So we're separate.
Right.
Okay.
Adam, is there a existing violation of the Highland Beach Code right now?
The town of Highland Beach has code. I don't know how to word it. We've done with the International Property Maintenance Code, and we accept that. So there's a violation of the International Property Maintenance Code just for property maintenance. And I was there October 3rd, and there was damage by the sliding glass door that appeared to be from a water leak, but I did not see any water when I was out there.
Mm.
No, I did not do a moisture. I was just there taking updated pictures. Jason did the moisture test when he was here.
right.
Yeah.
That's another thing is like, the allegation of the, moisture readings and elevated moisture readings, like. There's never been, like, nobody has came to me and said, look, we found this we discovered. It would have been helpful for me. As a matter of fact, the previous inspector, we went through every single unit in that whole stack to inspect, to see where it's coming from. Look, the last thing I want is for any issues for any of our homeowners and the integrity of our building, I stand highly on. And that's the thing. And when we went to each and every unit, there were a couple of units that had damage, but that was from Wilma. And some of the homeowners said, I did not want to repair it, so, blah, 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 blah. And it was maybe 3 out of those units. I guess that whole section is the one that got hit the most during Wilma. But nevertheless, I don't want Mrs. Bramy or anyone else to suffer any consequences from the building, and we will not have that. And I had the engineer there twice. So, I mean, just because of their word and taking their word as face value is the reason why I said, okay, well, let's just tear everything out, seal it. Let's get the engineer to write us up something that will satisfy to make sure that that area from the outside coming in.
If you've done all that remediation on the outside and you still got a wet spot underneath the wood, that might be coming from inside the building and running. Water runs.
Yeah.
So if you got a conduit inside, how's the
There's
electrical?
no plumbing or piping in there. That's the
So
whole thing.
all
In
the,
that area, nothing at all.
they don't need to be in that area. Water runs.
What happened last
Can I make a
week during the
comment?
storm? I'd like to know what happened during the week. Did you get any increased leakage during the storm? And we're talking about near the sliding glass doors. Did you have any leakage after the hurricane?
Nicole.
No, I don't believe that it was wet. We were evacuated, so when I came back, the first thing I did is I touched it. And unfortunately, because of all the previous damage, everything just kind of crackled and fell to the ground. So it could have been, there's nothing wet, and then the water would have already dried on the porcelain floor, wouldn't have seeped through. So is it possible it was wet? Yes. But it's so fragile right now. The ceiling, there's no ceiling left. It's just all pieces of particle. So
Are
you-
there any outlets on that ceiling in any of that area? Like a light fixture?
No.
She has electric curtains there, so I know.
They're not electric, they're battery. It's not electric, it's battery, they recharge. And they.
Question for the homeowner. Have you ever attempted to repair the ceiling?
No. And we didn't want to repair it until we found the source of the leak. There's no point in doing it over again.
Right.
Definition of insanity, in my opinion.
I don't know. I don't see this. as a code problem still. I see this as a condo association trying to find the problem, and you guys happen to be the victims. They're hard to find leaks sometimes. I don't see where, if you actually done, I don't have any idea other than what you said, because there's no evidence here. So, I mean, you guys still have a leak,
Right.
and it's your condo association. It seems like
Well,
it's an internal thing.
Seems like if they've just repaired the balcony in the last couple of weeks, maybe we should give it a little bit of time to see if that did the job.
Well, she said no.
You're
She
sure
said
that?
she had water after that, after
No, she said she didn't have water.
No, after Nicole, when I came back, the first thing I did was to check.
No, not after Nicole, after his remediation upstairs. Did you have a leak after that? You said yes.
We have wet, yes, it's
Yeah.
wet and the particle, and there's still particle
Right.
board, and it's very difficult to. Am I supposed to come out and call out somebody for a moisture reading test every time? Because by the time somebody comes over, the
Well,
water.
the
can be
moisture
dry.
tests don't do anything but tell you there's moisture. If you're seeing water, that's the major test. And if you have a cement slab ceiling, there's no sense in trying to fix that until you know that
Right.
that leak is stopped.
That's why
But
I'm
that's,
here,
this
yes.
doesn't sound like a code problem. It sounds like the association needs to satisfy her. I don't see where it's a code problem. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't, there's so many things involved.
Right, it's water.
Yeah, but if you would actually see the layout of the unit itself, you would be able to get a better picture.
Right,
as
but
to-
I don't see
Yeah,
it, so I
right.
can't.
There is no pipes near there at all, so that.
I
so-
understand.
Right, and this was done like in October, the waterproofing, it was done in October.
But that doesn't mean there's not a leak in a
Right.
chase wall somewhere that runs down and
Yes.
runs to the middle of that other room and then drips into a unit.
Right.
Or the leak could be coming from a higher balcony. It could be
Yeah,
coming from a
yeah.
third floor, or fourth
Right,
floor.
that's what I'm saying. It's,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's coming from the outside way. I think it's coming
No,
from
it's
inside.
internal
It's
somehow.
not without seeing anything, I'm guessing.
Right, so I'm asking the association, if you're thinking it's not a code issue, it's an association, I'm asking my association, my building management to help me determine the source of the leak before I fix it.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
I think it would be a better idea to get a hold of Palm Beach, who's doing all the inspections of older buildings, to come by. Yeah, it's a 40-year-old building.
40-year-old.
How many stories?
16 stories.
16 stories?
Ooh. Yeah, it's time for them to come visit.
I got two.
So currently what we're doing is we're doing all of our sewage drains. We're having pipelining done. We're doing concrete restoration right now in the garages. We also just had our electrical inspection done for the 40-year, which is done. Yeah, I'm sorry. The 40-year has been done as well. So the concrete restoration for the building will follow suit. But apart all of that, I mean, there's no drywall up on the thing, so it's the laminated plaster. So, everything has been sealed and, and that's why we got an engineer, because those are the professionals to tell us what to do. And we followed suit as to exactly what.
Listen,
what
you
they
might
told us
want to
do.
look at your drain pipes from the roof.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds.
I'm telling you, water can come from anywhere.
Yeah, I know. Water finds its way, but in this particular area where it's at, it's number one, it's right by, it's a window, right?
That's where
Right,
it's showing on.
So number one, you have heat that comes from your sliding glass doors. You have coolness of your thing, because I consulted with so many people to try to find out. This has been driving me crazy. to be
Okay,
honest with you.
is that, make believe that's the wet spot? Is the wall right there where the doors are? How far is it from the doors?
It's right beside the door,
The wet spot's right above the
right
door?
above the door. So say, for example, this. the sliding
You need to
glass
speak
door.
in the mic. You
Sorry.
can't do that.
Say, for example, where that window is, that's a sliding glass door, it's right above it inside a little soffit area. So, you do have heat that comes through.
Right, but
You
the
do
problem
have-
is I
and
don't
you
see
do
what's
have your-
outside. that
And you
could
do
affect
have
it.
your unit air conditioned.
Well, it could.
So I mean, it does, you do get you will. get that-
Condensation.
If
Yeah,
you-
condensation and moisture there.
Hold on one sec.
The storm drainage from the roof.
If the board's going to consider those photographs, ma'am, we have to take those as evidence if
Yeah.
we got to keep them
You.
because the
Let me
code needs
have
it. That's
your-
fine. Just for the record.
Please.
Thank you. We just need them for the record.
For
I
the property
appreciate it.
manager, is this the only unit that has this particular problem?
Yes, sir.
Mm.
And it's just been worked on in the last month.
Yes, sir.
Has the building at all
Thanks.
considered repairing the damage to this unit?
Being that it's plaster, if it was drywall, yes, we would have done it, but being that it's plaster, that's something that the building feels that it's the homeowner's responsibility.
So this is plaster, not concrete.
That's correct. Because another thing is, we're not sure also if when the construction work was being done, when they plastered that concrete ceiling,
You were paying attention.
when they plastered the concrete ceiling, if it bonded properly or not, we're not sure what type of methods they use or materials, so I mean.
Oh, yes.
Gentlemen, you can't have side conversation.
He keeps talking to me.
I know, I know it's Mr. Axelrod. I've been watching him.
Yeah, many years, right?
Like plaster versus drywall, the ceiling is falling apart.
Drywall is a gypsum product and plaster goes on top of either gypsum or concrete. It's a coat.
Right, but the renovation wasn't to do any type of work, and we didn't do any structural changes to the.
Pardon me?
We didn't do any structural changes.
No, it's not.
That's an
That's not
aesthetic
what he's talking.
change.
Right.
Yeah, the plaster is an aesthetic change, but nevertheless, we don't know if it was done properly. or
They're
not.
responsible from the paint in. So if that has to be replastered, that actually is gonna be their problem.
According to our bylaws, it's not.
If that's the case, and
drywall
you
is-
agree to them, then that's the
We're,
case.
we're way beyond our scope.
Yeah.
We have to determine whether there's a violation and then
I don't-
go from there. The
I don't see a
violation
violation.
is the property maintenance code, as Adam said, that there was moisture in the unit. So either you find them in violation or you don't find them in
Could
violation.
you tell us whether these particular violations are under Highland Beach Code?
Yeah, the town adopts the International Property Maintenance Code by reference, so anything in the property maintenance code becomes a town code violation.
So it is a code violation.
It is a code violation if you determine that it's in violation.
But for clarification, we're talking about you're classifying moisture as a violation, moisture without a permit.
Every
That's
unit,
a
every
violation.
housing unit must be watertight and there can't be any moisture coming into the unit.
It seems to me that the town has come to us and said there is a violation. And
There is.
Well, that's for the board to decide based on what you've heard.
Well, I think we have to,
Well, let us to talk about this.
yeah.
But how they remedy it and whose responsibility, that's getting beyond the
That's
scope.
a difference.
They need to remedy.
Well,
Right.
that's whoever needs to remedy it is a different issue.
to have.
wait, we are being asked to agree with or disagree with our town's code enforcement officer.
Correct.
That there was a violation.
Right.
And he's presented evidence and our attorney has told us that this is part of the Highland Beach Code.
Right.
I don't know what choice we have.
However, they are trying their best to remediate the problem. Are you gonna punish them for doing that?
But see, I don't know if they're trying their best.
Well,
I don't
Because
know
asked
either.
evidence and
Yeah,
I didn't see
I-
any.
we haven't seen the.
I heard it, but I didn't see it, and I think you're correct. So if you make a motion, I'll probably.
I don't mind showing you the bill of the work that was done.
Bill,
No, we don't.
I got plenty.
It's again, it's whether there's a violation or there's not a
We
violation.
need someone to make a motion.
He's gonna do it.
Okay, all right. I move that the respondents be found in violation of the town code as alleged in the notice of violation. And that they be ordered to comply within 60 days. Or be fined $250 per day for each day the violation remains after this date set for compliance. And assess prosecution costs the amount of $250 payable by the date set for compliance.
Can somebody define the word compliance for me?
Compliance is that there's no more moisture in the unit.
Good luck.
Unit.
That whatever the issue is has been resolved.
We need someone to second.
I'm
Nobody?
thinking.
I
How about
second it.
Irvini? What do you think?
I second it.
Oh, there
Thank
you
you.
go.
That's it.
Okay, please call the roll. And
Member Perlman,
Aye.
member Turbini,
Aye.
member La Sorsa,
Yes,
member Axelrod,
Yes,
vice chairperson Perlo,
yes,
motion carries.
Even though the motion carries, I would like to know how do you remedy that when you already
That's
had?
your
If
problem.
I was.
Yeah, they can't.
When you already,
dictate the way
we
you
thought,
feel.
you know,
Investigate differently. I mean, did they take out the door above you and put in a new gasket? You said yes.
no, I didn't say they took out the,
I did. You said that. You said yes.
I did not say that.
Ah.
Can you read?
Okay.
No.
Yeah, no.
You did ask
Look,
that
the,
question.
the case has been determined.
Yeah. that's-
We need,
Onward
we need
to
to
the
move on.
next. Onward to the
You have a
next.
waterproofing contractor?
That's what we had done.
Discuss it with them
You have a
afterwards.
plumbing contractor?
Okay.
You have an air conditioning contractor?
We have another subject.
All right, Madam Chair.
All right, we're ready for our next case. Case number CC 2022-06-007.
We'll be in touch.
Yes, thank you. And Adam, please take the chair. Good.
This is case number CC 2022-06-007. And before I begin, I would like to postpone this one to the December hearing
Okay,
as there was issue with service. So I just want to make sure the owner gets notified.
So there's no service, so we don't take any action. on
so
it.
we can hold this over.
Yeah,
Okay,
that'll come back. You don't have to take any action. if
Yeah.
There's no service.
all right, so then we can go to the next case. Case number CC 2022-08-017.
My name is Adam Osowski and I've been previously sworn in. The respondent is Peggy Kaufman. The property address is 3450 South Ocean Boulevard, Unit 705. I inspected the property on August 17th, 2022. The violation that remain as cited on today's agenda is 30-122A, water heater changeout without permit. The notice of violation was served by hand delivery on August 31st, 2022, after certified mail was sent on August 17th, 2022. The respondent was given 14 days to come into compliance. The notice of hearing was served by hand delivery to the security guard and certified mail both on October 26, 2022. Prior to today's hearing, I re-inspected the building records on November 7th, 2022, and the violation has been corrected.
Thank God.
I have submitted the following evidence, which includes proof of service, supporting documents and photographs. The town recommends that the respondent be found in violation of the town code as alleged in the notice of violation. The town is asking to assess prosecution costs in the amount of $250 payable within 30 days.
Sounds good. Who wants to make the motion?
I lost my paper.
Come on, yeah, be my guest. Be my guest.
Okay, I move that response be found in violation of town code as alleged in notice of violation, that he today be ordered to comply within, they complied.
They
No, they're
comply.
compliant. Yeah, it's
Oh,
number
okay, then-
2,
Pay the fine
Yes,
and don't repeat it.
right.
That's
that
it.
they be found in violation and they be ordered to pay prosecution costs.
Right, it's $250, yeah.
Exactly.
2,
Thank you.
Number 2.
and
And you
prosecution
need a
costs
second.
within 30 days.
Within 30.
Thank you,
Okay, who's seconding it?
Second.
Okay,
Mr. Froman.
all righty. So it looks like we have finished with the
They have
cases.
to
Wait.
vote.
We
What, we have to do the roll.
we didn't vote.
Yes,
Member La Sorsa,
Yes.
member Perlin,
Yes.
member Turbini,
Yes,
member Axelrod,
Yes,
vice chairperson Perlow,
yes,
motion carries.
motion carried. All right, so before we have a few announcements. November 17th at 9:30 a.m., there's a planning board regular meeting. On November 22nd at 1:30, we have the town commission special meeting. And on December 7th, we have at 6 p.m. a public meeting. This accessory to do with the marine facility regulations. Most of us got a thing in the mail about that. So I would like to adjourn the meeting, and it is now 2:10. Okay, and I think we're finished for
Good
the
job.
day. Thank you.
well done.
I think that woman, I.
Call insurance company, let deal.
Yeah.
deal with
The
the whole
insurance
thing.
company.
She should be suing that building, Raymond.
Then she's suing herself.
No, she sued the building because they didn't do the proper whatever.
They don't have the guy.